You've done it, watching strangers on a screen more than 10,000 times. You know what I'm talking about. 10,000 times. If you started at 13, you're 25 now. That's 12 years of your mental development wired to pixels. You know what you could have done with those hours? Learned fluent Spanish, mastered piano, earned a black belt, built a six-figure business. But instead, you have nothing, just shame and a broken brain. You traded temporary pleasure for pixels, power for weakness, your future for 15 minutes in the dark. I'm about to rip apart every lie you've been told, show you exactly who's profiting from your slavery, and give you the 5-step system that breaks the cycle in 48 hours. But if you're ready to stop being a fucking slave, subscribe now. This channel is war. Hit subscribe and let's burn this addiction to the ground. Your brain is smaller than it was last year. Not metaphorically, physically smaller, like a grape that turned into a raisin, shriveled, dying. Every time you click, dopamine floods your system at levels your brain was never designed to handle. Your brain panics, starts killing receptors to protect itself. You know what that means in English? The part of you that feels motivated to train hard, dead. The part that makes you want to build a business, dying. The part that gives you discipline to learn difficult skills, destroyed. And you're doing this to yourself every single day. You want to know the sickest part? They knew. In the 90s, tobacco companies had internal memos. Our product is addictive and kills people, but profits are good, so... Pornography companies have the same memos. They have neuroscientists on staff. They know they're hijacking your dopamine system. They know you'll escalate to more extreme content. They know you can't stop. And they're making $97 billion a year off your slavery. You think those recommended videos are random? They have AI trained on millions of users. They know your psychological profile better than you do. They know exactly what will keep you clicking, what will make you escalate, what will keep you coming back. You're not a customer, you're livestock, and they're farming you for profit. Let me tell you what you've lost. You've sat down to work on something important, something that could actually change your life, a business idea, a skill, a project. And within 90 seconds, your mind is drifting. You can't focus. You can't push through difficulty. You know why? Because your brain has been trained that when things get hard, you quit and go get easy dopamine. You've been in the gym. You're supposed to be pushing for that last rep, the one that actually builds muscle, the one that actually matters. And you quit because discomfort feels unbearable, because your brain is so fried from artificial dopamine that real effort feels like torture. Your discipline is broken, and you did it to yourself. You've looked at your hands after and felt like you need to scrub them with bleach. You've been in conversations where you can't make eye contact because you're thinking about what you watched 3 hours ago. You've sat down to meditate and your mind immediately floods with the images you've burned into it. You can't even sit with yourself for 5 minutes. That's not post-nut clarity. That's your real self breaking through the addiction fog for 30 seconds, seeing what you've become and being horrified. And then what do? You do it again tomorrow, and the next day, and the next. Because you're a slave. Say it. You're a fucking slave. Here's what everyone gets wrong about quitting. Trying to quit is the worst thing you can do. When you try to quit, you're still identifying as an addict. I'm an addict trying not to use. Know what happens? You think about it constantly. It becomes your whole identity. Here's what actually works. You're not trying to quit pornography. You're a man who doesn't do that. Not, I'm resisting temptation. That's not who I am. You don't have internal debates about whether to do heroin, right? You just don't do heroin because that's not you. Pornography needs to become the same. Not something you're white-knuckling through, something you just don't do. But here's the part that's going to piss you off. You don't have a pornography problem. You have a purpose problem. You're using pornography because you're bored, because your life is so empty that clicking tabs is literally the most interesting thing you have to do. Think about that. Really think about it. The most exciting part of your day is watching strangers fuck on a screen? That's not a pornography problem. That's a life problem. You wake up, go to a job you tolerate, come home, scroll, jerk off, sleep, repeat. What the fuck are you building? Where's your mission? Where's your business? Where's the skill you're mastering? Where's the body you're sculpting? You think you'll quit pornography and suddenly your life will be amazing? No. You need to build something worth protecting, worth fighting for. Start that business you've been thinking about for 3 years. Learn that language, that instrument, that programming skill. Train like your life depends on it because your self-respect depends on it. You need a goal so big that wasting your energy on pixels feels like betrayal. Give yourself a reason to preserve your energy instead of wasting it in the dark like a coward. Because here's the reality. Every man gets a finite amount of life force. Call it energy, testosterone, fire, whatever. You get one tank and it doesn't refill. Right now, other men are using theirs to build empires, to master skills, to forge their bodies into weapons, to create legacies. And you're burning yours in the dark, alone, for nothing. Every time you relapse, you're choosing 15 minutes of empty pleasure over the man you're supposed to become. You're choosing pixels over power, over discipline, over respect. And the gap between you and the men who don't do this, it gets wider every single day. They're getting stronger, you're getting weaker. They're learning languages while you're clicking tabs. They're deadlifting 400 pounds while you can barely get out of bed. They're launching businesses while you're thinking about it. How much longer are you going to wait? Where's your mission? Where's your business? Where's the skill you're mastering? Where's the body you're sculpting? You think you'll quit pornography and suddenly your life will be amazing? No. You need to build something worth protecting, worth fighting for. Start that business you've been thinking about for 3 years. Learn that language, that instrument, that programming skill. Train like your life depends on it because your self-respect depends on it. You need a goal so big that wasting your energy on pixels feels like betrayal. Give yourself a reason to preserve your energy instead of wasting it in the dark like a coward. Because here's the reality. Every man gets a finite amount of life force. Call it energy, testosterone, fire, whatever. You get one tank and it doesn't refill. Right now, other men are using theirs to build empires, to master skills, to forge their bodies into weapons, to create legacies. And you're burning yours in the dark, alone, for nothing. Every time you relapse, you're choosing 15 minutes of empty pleasure over the man you're supposed to become. You're choosing pixels over power, over discipline, over respect. And the gap between you and the men who don't do this, it gets wider every single day. They're getting stronger, you're getting weaker. They're learning languages while you're clicking tabs. They're deadlifting 400 pounds while you can barely get out of bed. They're launching businesses while you're thinking about it. How much longer are you going to wait? Forget 90 days. That's too far away, too abstract. Here's the 5-step system. You can execute all of it in the next 48 hours. Step 1. identity shift. Right now, this second, say out loud, "I control my mind. My will is iron, which urges cannot bend." Say it 10 times. Feel how foreign it sounds. Good. You're becoming someone new. Not trying to quit, not resisting. You just don't do that. That's not who you are. Step 2, scorched earth. Delete everything in the next 60 minutes. Instagram, TikTok, Reddit, Twitter, Snapchat. But I need it for no. You're choosing the apps or your freedom. Pick one. Install blockers on every device, DNS level. Make it so hard to fail that you'd have to actively try to relapse. Step 3, energy redirection. Every ounce of sexual energy you've been wasting, redirect it. Today, not tomorrow, today, you're starting one thing. A business project, a skill, a training program, a creative pursuit, something that requires daily work, something that builds you into more. Write it down. For the next 30 days, I will spend 1 hour daily on blank. Not I'll try, will. If you don't fix this now, you'll spend those 55 years as a slave. You'll never build that business. You'll never master that skill. You'll never forge that body. You'll never become dangerous. All because you couldn't sit with discomfort for 20 minutes. 55 years as a slave because you kept hitting the escape button. You're going to slip up. Maybe tomorrow, maybe in a week. And when you do, you have one decision. Get back up in the next hour or stay down forever. Most people slip and think, well, I already failed today, might as well binge. That's your addiction talking. That's the lie. One slip is a mistake. A binge is a choice. Get back up. That hour, do 100 burpees as punishment. Learn what you were avoiding. Build a stronger wall. The only way you lose is if you stop fighting. You know those videos of crackheads on the street? Twitching, desperate, broken? They didn't start there. They started with just once. They started thinking they were in control. You're on the same path, just a different drug, just a different timeline. The gap between you and them is smaller than you think. Every choice you make is a vote for who you're becoming. Right now, you're voting to be a slave, a consumer, a ghost watching other men win. 30 days from now, you could be someone who deadlifts twice their body weight. Someone who's built the first version of their business. Someone who meditates daily and can actually face themselves. Someone who's learning a skill that makes them valuable. Someone who looks in the mirror and doesn't feel disgust. Or you can be exactly where you are now, except weaker, more pathetic, closer to that crackhead. This is your line in the sand. Are you crossing it today? Or you staying weak, watching the man you could have been walk away? The choice was always yours. Make it.